And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Abel's blood crying from the ground is a picture of innocent blood unjustly shed. But there is another blood. There is a better blood. There is a perfect blood. There is a blood that has been created by God specifically for the cause of redemption. It was not the blood of a man. It wasn't Joseph's blood. It wasn't Mary's blood, but it was a divine created blood. And in somewhere hiding, it seems, in the chemistry of that blood was the very Zoe life of God. And all that the animal blood could offer was sort of the character, the spirit of an animal, the life of the animal. That's not enough for mankind. It took a special kind of blood, not only to cover the sin, but to remit it, to so rip it out of your life story that it would never be able to be used against you again. In order for there to be any salvation, in order for there to be any redemption, in order for there to be any true ratification, in order for there to be a right where there has been a wrong, the Bible is perfectly clear. Blood must be shed. God took living animals. Something had to die. Something had to die to cover the nakedness that just a little while before Adam and Eve were totally unaware of. Because they were clothed in a radiant light and glory, and they were veiled by a spiritual veil, Brother Branham said, that they could not even know. They did not even know they were naked until that moment that they disobeyed God. And in that moment, spirit, soul, and body began to go down. It lost what it had had. So there had to be some skins. Something had to die. Blood had to be shed. A substitute was slain so that Adam and Eve could leave that garden covered. Because they've been living in a little Shangri-La. They've been living in a little bubble of peace. They've been living in the garden that was set in the midst of Eden. Now they're going out into the world. They're going out and they're different. They've been changed. And they're about to meet a world that they've never known before. And so there had to be a covering for them. You see, Cain tried to come to God without blood, and he had no protection when the enemy came knocking. Without blood, there's no covering. Without covering, there's no protection. Without protection, the enemy has open access to our lives. Now, you look at Cain's situation and fast forward 2,500 years. The children of Israel are in Egypt. They're in slavery. They're in bondage. They're under the curse, and God is about to deliver them. But that deliverance is going to require something that Cain could not provide: blood. Blood for the door. From Genesis to Revelation, the principle is the same. Sin requires death. Death requires blood. Blood provides a covering. It's a law, it's a cycle, it's a circle. It went on from the Garden of Eden to the tabernacle in the wilderness to the temple in Jerusalem, all the way to Calvary. Amen? And the blood is still being applied. If you want your loved ones in, you better get them in now. Because we don't know how long this mercy is going to last. One of these days, like God came down and shut the door of the ark, the door of mercy is going to come to a close. Amen. But as long as there's a lamb on the mercy seat,